get started. Hood's removed, parts box. I really hate to do this, but sometimes you gotta tear apart something great to make something better. And this is definitely, I just realized there's no AC. Not a fan of that. We've definitely broken the seal. The first turbo pipe is off. Some mess of piping and stuff, really. Definitely keeping those fans for the Z. All right, Pro Charger's now off. The beauty of this that I'm doing is a long time ago in college, I had a vehicle come in and we did the unspeakable and replaced just a rod bearing because the rod was knocking. The car left, it ran. That is the idea of what I'm trying to get at here. All right, we're at the worst part of this now. I got this old step side off like a Jeep or some shit. And then under, I have a jack stand on the trans. They both have a lot of tension on them. So this is when I need to start getting this cross member off. This definitely is the most dangerous part, but I mean, I've moved it, hit it, and kicked it. Everything seems pretty good and steady, so I don't want all the weight on that strap, but I also don't want it on the trans. The easy way would have been to get like an engine hoist thing, but not today. The coolest thing is happening. I can't get the subframe out, which is completely disconnected because of the damage to where the control arms hook up. I can't get the control arms out. They're bent in from being hit on the road. I can't get either one of them to disconnect. So the subframe is just hanging out. My phone's got like a damn eye problem going on here. That's what it looks like for me driving at night. All right, so we did figure it out. I took a picture. I'll just slap it in the video right here. There is a bent rod. So with that being said, I gotta pull this out. It can't stay in there. So now I get to go home and kind of look at my options. Let's see if I can get it on camera real quick. This rod right here. See, there's a little curvature going on there, bud. Let's see if I can get y'all some more light. That rod. You see that curve at the back of it. So, that's Dunsey. But look at all this mess.
It helps the speaker lead his audience into the scene he described.
So we made pretty good progress here. This piston looks like it was not firing the same as the other two, and that is the one that gave out. So I might try to see if I can tap it out real quick, just to get kind of a look at the damage it's done, if it's done any. The cylinder wall looks good, maybe a little honing. I don't see any crack on the piston though, anything like that. But it does look like it's kind of like there's a gap there, but not here. So maybe a ring failure. Just a little bit of ring failure caused force, and the rod just kind of gave out. Which a boosted setup makes sense for a ring failure, really. See, it's fully apart. Heads are off. So the one with the bent rod is the only one that's showing any differentiation. It's apart. It's a full VQ teardown in the car. Look how tiny it looks. These engines are so tall when they're fully assembled for no reason. So I was actually gonna end the video before, but I decided to just go ahead and get the piston out. So you can see the one on the right, what a piston's supposed to look like for those who don't really know. And the one on the left is the one that is bent. And you can see it is quite bent. But the knocking has nothing to do with any bearing issue, nothing like that. All the bearings are good. You can tell they got a little hot, but they're good. It actually was tapping the crankshaft because the bent rod changed the clearance. So it was tapping the crank. So looks like the piston took most of the damage, which is exactly what I wanted. So I can replace and start rebuilding. The rebuild kit is already on the way, so. And everything's coming out just like nice and easy, which is good. Nothing's really held up or bound up or anything. It's exactly what I wanted to feel. Just a quick side note, left is DE, right is HR. So HRs do have a different rod setup, and it looks like they may be a little bit thicker, maybe to handle the abuse. HRs obviously get revved all the way to the moon all the time. I mean, D's do too, but they may have learned their lesson. So there definitely is a difference. Looks like they really went for the same compression ratio though. But it looks like the DE pistons are a little thicker. Wild. Yep, nice piss poor rainy day, and I'm about to get succulating on this thing. Rebuild kit came quicker than I expected. So I think today I'm gonna start dropping in some pistons. I've already cleaned up a lot of the parts, so it's time to get it assembled. But we got, new bearings, new rings, and somewhere in here, new pins. Should be a pretty simple process. So after careful measuring, reconsideration, I'm gonna use OEM pistons, clean them, and put the new bearings on them with compression rings replaced. Oil rings, I'm gonna leave OEM. I know both donor cars for all these parts, and neither one of them had oiling issues. They both had ringland issues. So compression ring was bad off one car, and that piston is not here. Compression ring off this car is broke and is leaving. So I think, new bearings, new compression rings, new gaskets, this car should be good. The bearings matched up perfectly, so I feel good using them. And I think I would rather use OEM stuff anyways when it comes to weight distribution. So I think it's the best idea. If the car doesn't run, the car don't run. So is what it is. So all of the pistons are in. I need to go get a different torque wrench. That one's acting weird, so I need to go get another one so I can torque down the rod cap so just hang tight. But yes, sir. Rods are in, heads are back on. Little bit of a rainy day, so I think I'm gonna call it here. Everything's torqued to spec, which is just a gangster estimation really, because there is no set foot-pounds. It's angle tightening. But everything's in. I need to clean up this front, replace the O-rings, and then put the front cover on, and then we can really get started. So this is where we're at. Oil pan's on, cross members back in, headers are on. Removing this top gallery gasket, it came right off. It didn't have any cracks, which is kind of amazing. This lower one, you already see the problem. So I'm gonna hold off on the time and stuff. Start putting the bottom of the car back together. And then I'll have to come back for the timing. I'm having a little trouble reading the diagram for the cams and everything, so I may have to wait a little while. I ain't really recorded much, but can I switch? Oh, whoa. But the Infinity engine is pretty much back together. It's down the galleries, front timing chain, front timing cover, and then small odds and ends, the wiring, hoses, etc. But I think before I do any of that, I'm gonna compression test, see if it's making compression. If it is, then that's like a pretty good sign that everything's correct and that valves are opening when they're supposed to. VQ timing's a little weird, so, and you never feel like fully certain on something like this, so we'll see. Well, battery dead. So it does run. It's been a horrible process, to be honest, but it runs, it's back together. If anybody has questions on like internal stuff, I guess, let me know. This has been just a crazy process, but I'm gonna have to order a tune. The car's not gonna run. It just like starts, revs high off starting fluid and then dies. So it definitely needs an ECU reflash to get this old supercharger tune off. And then other than that, I mean, it should be good. So definitely stay tuned for this tune. So I've been running diagnostics on the G, just trying to get, it is running, you know, dialing out any leaks or anything that I'm finding, codes, stuff like that. Fresh build, it's expected to take a little while to get like roadworthy, so. And this Amazon reader is taking forever, dude. So she's actually done. A little bit of a misfire. I pulled the coil packs and 2 of them didn't make a change. I think it's injectors. Those injectors were out of an old engine I had. So at some point I need to get them flow tested. I've drove it around the block, so it seems to be good for now. I tried and worked really hard so that I can make like one whole video on this car from start to finish, just getting it back together. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. It took a couple of months to make this video and I get busy, so some of the stuff isn't in there that y'all probably wanted to see, but it's hard to record and build at the same time. So and she is done. I may do some drive-in videos soon. I need to get these rollers off, but I'm also kind of trying to like decide if I want to sell it as is. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. I've made a bunch of outros, but I keep going to try to just make one whole video of the car. So let me know what y'all think, and I will see y'all in the next one.